On the world news tonight, Tinubu to probe bombing of Fulani herdsmen in Nasarawa. I can nominate people for Tinubu's appointment, Bode George. Boko Haram founders told me poverty, unemployment cause insurgency. Oshibajo adds to Sierra Leone to lead election observers. Immigration boards declare state of emergency over passport delays. And on sport, Tottenham Hotspur weighs up move for Adara Bioyo. These are the headlines for the world news tonight on BGI TV Currents. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Now the news in detail. The throned Kano Emir, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will probe the bombing of Fulani herdsmen by Nigeria Air Force at the Nasarawa-Benue border earlier in the year. Mr. Sanusi, also a former governor of the central bank, held a meeting with Mr. Tinubu at the presidential villa on Wednesday. He told State House reporters afterwards that his visit was to congratulate and discuss other national issues with the president. But in particular, I came to appeal to him on the case of the 37 herdsmen who were bombed by Air Force in Nasarawa State a few months ago, which we wrote a letter to President Buhari on, Mr. Sanusi said. And we have now written a reminder because it was a matter we didn't want to be swept under the carpet. The President has asked me to send him the letter, and I'm sure that he will look into the matter. The former Emir said, I'm concerned with the issue of herdsmen-farmer clashes. President Tinubu is also concerned, and we discussed steps that need to be taken to begin to look at some of those issues. Earlier in January, People's Gazette reported that Nigeria Air Force conducted another awareness operation that left scores of civilians scored by aerial bombardment. At least 47 people, mainly Fulani pastoralists, were confirmed killed, while scores were evacuated to various hospitals in Nasarawa and Benue. Witness said Governor Abdullahi Isile of Nasarawa confirmed the attack and said efforts were underway to resolve the crisis with the military. A spokesman for the Nigerian military said the air raids in the area at about the same time were only targeted at bandits. He, however, failed to say how many bandits were neutralized during the attack or if there were any other casualties other than the civilians. A former deputy national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Bode George, has dismissed claims that he is looking for appointment under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying he is too old for such. He noted, however, that if he was approached or offered such, he would only assist in nominating competent candidates from his party. George, who had been an ardent critic of Tinubu, told correspondents in a telephone interview on Thursday that he ended his rift with the president not for appointment, but for peace to reign, and in deference to those who intervened in the matter at the behest of Tinubu. He stressed that after some senior indigenes of Lagos State and delegation from the All Progressive Congress visited him to end a long-lasting dispute and solicited his support for the Tinubu government, nothing that he could never have desired anything more at his age. He stated that these people are only talking rubbish and they need to shut up. This man, Tinubu, is just starting, and we said my party was still in court. They said we should let bygones be bygones. In the Bible, if it is very clear that vengeance is only with God Almighty and you don't continue fighting when everybody has persuaded you that it's enough. All those saying I want an appointment don't know what they are saying. What exactly do they want to happen to the young ones coming up? I said I've forgiven him. We had an issue and people settled it for us, and I've forgotten about that. Asked whether or not he would accept an appointment from the government if offered, he said, I will give him people that have the knowledge from the party, having been a manager of the party for years. If he says he wants me to help him get someone, there are millions of young people who still have all the energy to run around and not me. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo on Friday said in the early days of Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast, he was told by the founders of the terrorist group that poverty and unemployment drove them into the crime. He, however, warned that the country's over 20 million out-of-school children were a breeding ground for more Boko Haram members of a future if not urgently tackled. He stated these at the launch of a book titled Pillars of Statecraft, nation building in a changing world, authored by his daughter, Dr. Kofo Obasanjo Blackshare, at an event in Lagos. Responding to a question by a member of the audience on why government policies have become more political than people-centered in recent times, he said part of the country's major problems was looking for scapegoats for its problems. He stated further, during the early days of Boko Haram, when the man who started the movement was said to have been killed, I said I wanted to meet with the members of the Boko Haram to talk to them and know what they wanted. I met with their representative and found out that they needed nothing but a better life for themselves. Can we blame them for wanting a better life for themselves? They said they believe in Sharia law. I told them that Sharia was not a problem in Nigeria. It is part of our constitution. According to the former president, some of the members of the insurgent group told him that they went to school but had no jobs. If that leadership is not properly taken care of, every other thing will go away, he said. He also added that Nigerians must learn to face their own problems squarely rather than blaming others for it. From that story, we'll go to the next one. Immediate past Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, is set to arrive in Sierra Leone this Saturday to chair a 12-person Commonwealth Observer Group (COG) for the country's election. Information report that Osinbajo had accepted the offer of the Commonwealth to lead the Observer Group constituted by its Secretary General Patricia Scotland to observe the general elections in Sierra Leone. Confirming Osinbajo's itinerary via his Twitter handle, his media advisor, Laolua Konde, said the former vice president will be in Sierra Leone for the rest of the month. Akonde wrote, immediate past vice president heads to Sierra Leone today as chair of 12-persons Commonwealth Observer Group for the country's election. According to the Commonwealth State Secretariat, Osinbajo will be joined by recognized dignitaries from various fields including politicians, legal, media, gender and election administration professionals from across the Commonwealth to carry out the task. And to the next story for the world news this hour. The Acting Controller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service (NIS), Caroline Wura Ola Adepoju, has announced a state of emergency on passport issues in the country. According to a statement on Thursday, Tony Akuneme, the immigration boss, made the declaration during her working visit to Lagos. She emphasized the urgent need to address the challenges faced by Nigerians in obtaining passports and declared a comprehensive plan of action to tackle these issues effectively. The acting CGI's visit to Lagos encompassed significant events that underscore the gravity of the passport crisis, the statement read in part. In her address, AG CGI Adepoju emphasized the necessity to dismantle all man-made bottlenecks that impair the passport application process. Adepoju further stressed that the NIS top management was fully committed to addressing institutional and technology-based drawbacks to ensure a more efficient and streamlined service delivery. And to the next story. The Nigerian Navy has described as spurious the allegations by ex-Niger Delta militant leader Asari Dokubo that some cannibals in the military are involved in oil theft in the region. Dokubo made the claims when he visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Abuja on Friday. Reacting to the accusation, the Director of Naval Information, Commodore Adedotun Ayo Vaughn, challenged Dokubo to produce evidence and names of those behind the criminality. Ayo Vaughn spoke and said on Saturday in Abuja. Ayo Vaughn said that Nigerian military and the Navy in particular had been at the forefront of fighting crude oil theft at all levels in the country. He said while crude oil stolen from pipelines is refined in the creeks for the local market and local buyers, it was also being stolen by criminals from offshore at sea. You remember the case of MT Heroic Idun that was made to pay fines to the Nigerian government after they were arrested and brought back from Guinea-Bissau, Malabo Island, and made to face court orders. From that story, we'll go to the next one. A civil society group, World Institute for Peace, WIP, has urged Governor Ademola Adeleke to reinstate the suspended 3 Osun monarchs and stop playing politics with Yoruba tradition. Adeleke had recently slammed suspension on 3 monarchs, Akinrun of Ikirun, Owa of Ibajo, and Are of Ire, appointed by his predecessor, ex-governor Adegboyega Oyetola, at the twilight of his administration in 2022. alleging that the installation of the monarch did not follow due process. In a statement issued on Friday, WIP's Executive Director Lamino Omotoyosi described Adeleke's action as a misplacement of duty, stressing that it is the role of the judiciary to notify the installation process of a king. The governor ought to appeal to the aggrieved parties and affected communities to allow court processes and beef up security apparatus in the areas and give warning to anyone who may want to cause trouble. Adeleke displayed executive power in the manner that his action can only be described as a sentiment. Adeleke should simply know that those kings were installed within the context of the constitutional right of the former governor. He should stop playing politics with Yoruba tradition. The governor should allow for the reinstating of the monarch concerned. Be it as it may, it's highly ridiculous for the government of Osun State, the cradle of Yoruba land, to interfere with the construct of its traditional rulers, he said. In case you're just joining, you are watching the world news from BGI TV Current. Next to come. Suspected bandits have killed 2 biological brothers while they were farming at Ungwal Gajari village, Kutimeshi Ward, Brendingwari local government area of Kaduna State. Sagir Umar, a resident of the area, expressed deep concern over the relentless activities of bandits, which have caused panic in the village. He revealed that over the past 2 weeks, approximately 10 villagers have been held captive by the bandits. According to Umar, the bandits have been wreaking havoc in the community by conducting innocent villagers and abducting innocent villagers and stealing their livestock. Yahya Musa, the member representing Kakangi constituency in the State House of Assembly, confirmed the recent killing and expressed grief over the incident. He also disclosed that 2 other farmers were abducted at Gwanda Yada village by the bandits on Thursday while working on their farms. Musa commended ongoing security operations along the Kaduna-Brindingwari highway aimed at flushing out the bandits from nearby forests. He identified the Kutimeshi area, Tabini, Kuyelo, and Dogundawa village as the locations where the bandits were sighted. When contacted, the State Police Command Public Relations Officer, DSP, Mohammed Jadige, promised to call back reporters after getting more details on the incident. However, as of the time of filing this report, no response was received from him. From that story from Kaduna State, we go to the foreign story. Bill Gates, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, will be in Nigeria this week following a visit to China to discuss global health and development with national and local leaders, foundation partners, grantees, scientists, and young innovators. The visit is part of the Gates Foundation's commitment to work closely with communities and leaders to support innovation that can help accelerate progress and improve lives across Africa. A statement made available by Channel Television on Saturday said, Gates and other foundation leaders are visiting to learn from partners helping to address polio, anemia, and other health threats. Scientists applying research to develop agricultural innovations that will help with food security and climate adaptation. Innovators using technology to improve access to financial services, and others working to improve lives in Niger and Nigeria and throughout the continent. They will also meet with national and regional leaders to encourage them to make investment in advanced policies that promote innovation and provide equitable opportunity despite challenging economic conditions. Gates will also participate in the conversation with students and young leaders to gather insight and share perspectives on how science and innovation can accelerate positive change and contribute to a brighter outlook for Africa. The moderated event, Advancing Africa, Unleashing the Power of Youth in Science and Innovation, will be co-hosted by the Co-Creation Hub Nigeria and Lagos Business School and live-streamed across Africa by media partners Africa.com and Channels Television. It will take place at 10 a.m. Lagos on June 21. You can register here to attend virtually, as says the information from the news. And to end the world news this hour is a sports story. Tottenham Hotspur is considering a move for Fulham defender Tosin Adarabioyo. Adarabioyo is expected to leave the Craven Cottage this summer after failing to extend his contract. The 25-year-old has 1 year left on his contract with Fulham. According to information, the centre-back is on the list of defenders Tottenham Hotspur is looking to sign this summer. Adarabioyo joined Fulham from Premier League champions Manchester City in 2020. He has scored 3 goals in 99 league appearances for the club so far. What a sports story will end the world news this hour. Before we go, some major headlines. Tinubu to probe bombing of Fulani herdsmen in Nasra. Sanusi Lamido says, I can nominate people for Tinubu's appointment, Bode George. Boko Haram founders told me poverty, unemployment cause insurgency. Ex-President Obasanjo. Oshibajo heads to Sierra Leone to lead election observers. And on sport, Tottenham Hotspur way up, move for Adara Bioyo. Thank you for watching the World News this hour. Before we go, as you can access all of our broadcasts on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For other placement integrating services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching once again. I am Morire Repila Lawal. Good evening.